Welcome to our Week 1 Hangout for the CMOOC, and this is for our New Zealand Australian participants. We're a little bit earlier this week than last week, just to see if people might be able to make it easier this time. Joining me so far, we have Lisa Ransom, and Lisa's at AUT. So Lisa, do you want to just give us a brief overview of who you are and why you're involved in the CMOOC?
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Ransom from the Centre for Learning and Teaching, and I'm in the Learning Technologies team. We look after Blackboard and any AUT supported software that lecturers use, for example Mahara, Blackboard and the similar. I'm wanting to get this certificate to recognise some of the stuff that I've actually been doing, or the projects I've been involved in with lecturers, etc.
Cool, thanks Lisa. So while we're waiting for other people to join in the discussion, let's just have a brief overview of what we're doing and some of the tools we're using just to get people joining the community and get started for week 1. So the first week really is just getting everyone connected, getting people set up. So it's a little bit of work, and but it's nothing too hard. But it's just going to start screen sharing, and Paul's just joined us. So
hi,
good to see Paul.
Sorry, Tom, we're a few technical issues.
Yeah.
A
bit slow down in Nelson.
Yeah,
we don't have the sun today, so our brains are frozen.
It's freezing cold.
Is it really? In Nelson? Cold.
So here's Shingo and Nikki. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Hi.
And we've got Lisa with us here. Lisa from AUT.
Hi there, folks. I'm I'm one of Tom's colleagues. So it's cold down there. It's actually quite nice and warm in sunny Auckland.
Really?
Oh.
Well, it was. It is sunny again. We've got sun.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual for Nelson to be cold.
I know.
Okay, so we just started the broadcast while we were kind of waiting for people to join, but hopefully some other people join as we go. But what I thought we'd do is just have a bit of an outline of week 1, what we're doing with week 1, so people who watch this later can hopefully get a bit of an idea of what to do. But feel free to ask questions and have a discussion as we're going. So just butt in whenever you feel like it, particularly if there's something that I'm covering that's not really very clear to people. So see Paul's rugging up there.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to start screen sharing so I can show people through the WordPress site and the Google Plus community. So it should be coming through any second, hopefully.
Yep, got it.
Cool.
Well, I don't know if Nelson's got it.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit longer to get down there.
Okay. So there's 2 key parts or places to look at for the CMOOC if you're wanting to follow along, if you're wanting to follow what we're up to and what to do. And we're looking at 7 weeks. So this is the first week. And in this first week, it's getting people signed up, getting them part of the community, getting them to start set up their profiles if they haven't done that before, or put them into one place. So on the WordPress site, which is cmooc.wordpress.com, you'll find the outline of what we're doing over the 7 weeks. And there's a couple of links there to other stuff. But the key thing here is under the activities. So you can see each week we go over one part of a CMOOC portfolio. So week 1 is looking at your contextual statement. So that's what motivates you, what drives you, why are you involved in education, and why in particular are you interested in technology enhanced learning. So that's this first week, which is that contextual statement. And each week we go over a different section of the CMOOC portfolio and give people a bit of time and some ideas on what they can put into their own portfolio for submission. So this is the place to sort of find the structure, the outline of the CMOOC. It's also got the sign up page. So if you signed up, you would have gone to the site and clicked on the sign up page. A couple other things that we have a blog roll where we curate everyone who's put their blogs into the sign up form for us. And we have the project banks. The project bank is where we're really keen for people to share examples of the different elements of their CMOOC portfolios. So you can see from last time we've got 7 examples of contextual statements, 4 examples of week 2 operational issues, etc., etc. And you can add your own there by going to the project back menu and clicking on Submit Project. And all you're doing actually is providing a link. So when you go to submit a project, it's just a form you fill in. You choose what type of element you're trying to submit. Give it a title, give it a description. So it might be, Paul's awesome contextual statement. Give yourself a rating. So by default, you get 1 star, which is probably appropriate for Paul.
3 stars.
Yeah, 3 stars. Go middle of the road.
So Tom, I just put in 5 for me.
But then other people can rate you as well. You see, so then it might end up being more balanced.
How much will it cost me for you to rate me at 5?
Yeah, but the key thing is putting a link, a URL to what you're trying to share, and also you can upload a thumbnail, a custom image from your computer to make it look snazzy and look a little bit different, or else you just get the sort of CMOOC logo. And the last thing that you can choose is the Creative Commons license. So you can choose what type of license that you want to apply to your contribution. So there we go. So basically it's a link to some part of your portfolio or example that's online. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a blog post, anything that's online. So you're not actually uploading content, just a link. So that's the project bank.
Tom, can I ask a silly question right now?
Yeah.
So if we were part of the last CMOOC, do we need to sign up again for this?
No.
We don't.
No, so we already have your details, and if you've already, signed up to the Google Plus community, you should be getting notifications because we haven't deleted anyone, unless you removed yourself. And hi, Amanda. Good to see you.
Sorry, I was a bit late. I was just got.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
You're mobile.
Like your hair.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Good. How are you, Lisa?
Good, thanks.
My
So
screen's
Amanda
small, so I can't quite see who else is here.
So this is Paul and Shingai and Vicky. That's right. Yeah. Nikki from Nelson.
Hi.
Amanda is one about lecturers in ethics. So I'm just going over the outline for week 1 of the CMOOC, Amanda. So I'll just go back to the screen sharing there. And so the other key place, the key hub for the CMOOC is the Google Plus discussion forum. So this is kind of where participants can share their stuff, start discussions, be active, involved, and you can see we've shared a few examples. There's Laurent and Amanda in a little video, and then we've got a couple of our paramedic lecturers just sharing very briefly and off the cuff who they are, introduce themselves, and a bit of an outline of their contextual statements, which they'll do a bit more of on their blog. So in the Google Plus community, you can see on the left-hand side under About, if you open that menu, you can see all the links to our various tools. And we were sort of discussing this with the UK participants last night, and they did sort of say, well, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a bit hard to know where to look. But the 2 places to look are the WordPress Hub and the Google Plus community. The rest all connect to that. So that's like the hub. So you can see we've got 60 people joined up so far. So in a lot of these joined us in the first prototype iteration last year, including Paul and Shingai, etc. So if you want to find out who's joined, you can just click on the members list and have a quick look and see where they're from. So the other thing that we've been asking people to do for this week is to locate themselves on a map. And this is a collaborative Google map that we've shared with people once they've signed up. And it just kind of gives us an idea of where people are from globally. You can see we've got quite a few in New Zealand, a few in Australia, and then a huge group in the UK, which is quite nice to see. And as people put themselves on the map, it's just nice to sort of get a sense of the international community. So our last person to join up on the map was Cherry from Nottingham, which is cool. And we have Paul here is on the map here down in Nelson.
Ah, there I am. I should have said hi.
So what you could do, Paul, is edit your point of interest there and put a link to your portfolio, or a photo or something, or a picture of your dog.
That's a picture of my dog right there.
So there we go. So for week 1 in the Google Plus community, plus also in the WordPress, you can see we've got week 1 there, introductions and contextual statement. So there's a few things that we're getting people to do. And the first thing is join the Google Plus community. So if you're in this Hangout, you've probably done this already. Share some ideas on social media using the hashtag, so #CMOOC. Set up your own e-portfolio, and we suggest WordPress, but it could be anything that's online, Mahara, Adobe Spark, etc. And we try to encourage people to make that open, but it's up to you. You don't have to make it open if you're not comfortable with that. To get it assessed, when you do submit it, you will have to give the assessors access to your portfolio so they can read it and give you feedback. Number 4, so there's a few things this week. Do a short little survey. So it's a little 10-question SurveyMonkey survey, just giving us ideas and feedback on what your prior experience is, particularly on social media and education. Put yourself on the map. So as people are signing up on the Google sign-up form, I've been sending a link to them so they can edit the map. So although it's public to view, only invited people can contribute to that map. And I think so far we've got 719 views, which is not bad, actually. So number 6, start creating a biography, a CV on your portfolio, and start setting up some online profiles. So we did have a question last night: is how important is research to getting a CMOP accreditation? Well, there's 2 key things with a CMOP portfolio. One is providing evidence of interacting with technology in education. The other is reflecting on that, reflecting on those experiences, and what is that experience done to develop your development as a teacher, for what is the outcomes for your learners, or for the people that you collaborate with if you're more an educational technologist. So the 2 key things are providing evidence of your involvement in the key areas of a CMOP portfolio to do with teaching and learning, and then the other key thing in each element of that is reflecting on that. What does that mean? What is it? How has that impacted your work and impacted learners in the long term? So it doesn't have to be research.
Oh, okay. So Tom, I was just going to ask a question on that, because the role that I'm in, I probably haven't done research. I'm more of a support role. What
so you would have different types of evidence. So I'm not going to be the assessor, but I'm just sort of sharing my experience. So it could be a YouTube video, it could be an archive collaborate session, it could be a scanned PDF, just any evidence of your activity in teaching and learning. And in your case, it's probably more about collaborating with lecturers. So you might need to get their permission to share some of the stuff that you've worked on with them.
Okay, or a statement or a paragraph from them of what I've done with them. Okay, yep, that's fine.
Could be an email saying, Lisa was fantastic. She helped me,
that'd be lots and lots of emails, that would.
And Amanda's done a lot of stuff with live streaming, but unfortunately BAM user has gone the way of the dodo, but I think she might be exploring possibly Periscope now.
Yeah,
so it could be.
Had to go with Periscope Wednesday, yeah. So, yeah, me and Laurent had a bit of a play around with it. So I might blog about that, because I blogged the other day about my feelings about the demise of BAM user. So
I feel your pain.
Feel my pain.
The demise of
that's kind of life with social media. The demise of BAM user, which was a really cool live streaming mobile tool which Amanda used all the time.
Gone.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you should read Amanda's post, actually. What's the link to your blog?
It's just amandalees23@wordpress.com, I think. I think the link is maybe captured somewhere in this CMOOC site.
Yeah, I'm just going there now. So if I go back to screen sharing.
I'm hurrying to get to my office because my battery is about to die
So there's
on my
Amanda's
phone.
blog, and it's on our blog roll, and so you can read her reflection there on the death of BAM user. I like that song. Gone, really gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So I'm sure Paul could give us a really good rendition of it, actually. being the awesome musician that he is. So I'm going to stop screen sharing now, and let's just any questions. Have I frightened people? It's not hard. I think that perhaps from Paul and Shingai and Nikki's experience of last year of starting following along. Is this difficult or not?
I don't think it's difficult. It's just finding the time.
Finding the time. I was going to say finding the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what I try to encourage people to do is get together in small groups like you guys are sitting around the table here in Elsom to support each other and be able to brainstorm and say, hey, look, what about this? I've got this idea that I could put into my portfolio. Do you think that's relevant or not? And give each other feedback and create a supportive environment around that. And also by doing that, you perhaps set aside a little bit of time each week to start chipping away at it.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the key.
There's a lot. I guess my first impression of it is looking at week one, look at the homework that needs to be done. Like, ooh! But I think, definitely time to sit down each week and just chip it away. It would be a good idea.
Also,
it's not something that has to be done all at once. So week one is kind of like the start, and you would be building on that as you go. Sorry, okay. Amanda.
I was just saying the other night I listened to the webinar from last Friday because I couldn't join, and I thought Paul made a good comment about that it's a bit like getting on the bus. So we sort of got on the bus last time and ticked off a few things, but it will probably take a few rounds to get everything done.
Yeah.
If that's all right, then that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the goal for me is providing people an opportunity and networking people. So, finding like-minded groups of people around the world that we can collaborate with and be supported by. So the goal is not over 7 weeks for everyone to create an awesome CMOOC portfolio to send off and be assessed, but at least know what's needed to do that. And maybe it might take a couple of times through the CMOOC as people build up their evidence.
It's just a shame that we can't talk with our UK counterparts anymore.
Well, you can, but so those hangouts are kind of like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night for us.
I think I might try to next time. Yeah. I'm always up then.
Yeah. It's quite fun chatting with them. There's a few characters there.
Yeah.
I saw it starting last night, but I thought, I actually have to go to sleep.
You Slaker, where's your commitment?
She works for AUT. She teaches. I think she's got a lot of commitment.
Okay, so any other questions at this point?
I only had one, which you could probably, I don't know whether you answer me here or not. There was talk at one stage of the CMOOC being really kind of rehashed a little bit to include support staff. Did that ever go through, or is it just business as usual?
Not sure what we mean. I mean, the CMOOC accreditation is really open to anyone who can provide the right evidence and reflection. So, I suppose it kind of targets educational technologists as such, but any lecturer, any support staff person who's involved in the teaching and learning process, particularly with technology, is able to put a portfolio together. So what is changing at this point is there's a trial around introducing 2 different levels of CMOOC. So at the moment, CMOOC accreditations about a senior fellow of the HEA.
Yeah.
They're bringing in a early sort of career version of CMOD accreditation, which should be for people less experienced or not quite so involved with technology in their role, and then a more advanced version as well, which would be kind of like, you know, principal fellow of the HEA.
Yeah,
But that's not
So
in
those are
place
both
yet,
in
Tom?
development. Sorry, Amanda?
Those aren't in place yet.
Well, they're trialing they're trialing those, and the trial period is just in it for people to put their portfolios in, and then we'll get feedback. I would imagine it'll be ready to go for the next intake, which will be 31st of May. So I would think there would be the three options, the three levels of CMOD accreditation by the next intake, I think is the goal. Hello, Vanessa. Good to have you join us again.
Good morning. Yes, I've just got in and up and running. So,
Hi, Vanessa.
good morning, everyone. How are you?
Hi.
So Vanessa's from Macquarie in Australia, and we did put the hangout a little bit earlier this week, and I was a little bit worried about the Australian participants, you know, getting them out of bed. But I thought last week, because we're first quite close to lunchtime in New Zealand last week, and I thought it might be, you know, hard for people to join because they're off getting their donuts or whatever. So welcome, Vanessa. So let's just quickly go over who's here. So for Vanessa, we've got our group from Nelson, Paul and Chingai and Nikki, and we've got Lisa from AUT.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Lisa.
Nice to meet you too.
And Amanda.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Amanda. And hi, everyone at Nelson again.
Hello.
So good to have you join us. We are pretty much at the end of our session for today. So we basically just sort of went over very briefly what we're trying to do with the first week of the CMOOC, and gave people a bit of an outline. So this will be archived and available for people to view later.
Good, thanks.
So yeah, thank you for joining us. I think unless there's anything really pressing that people want to ask or talk about, Vanessa, you haven't had the opportunity, so is there a question or anything you'd like clarified?
Week 1 with you. Week 1. No? No.
No, okay. Just had a walk in there, but that's all right.
I was just going to say,
TV presenter. Yeah, Paul.
I was just going to make a comment before, Tom, and that's really something, this is something I learned from Tom last time, is how to do one thing, but then use it in 3 or 4 different ways to kind of double dip with everything. And so for me, like, one of the things I've always wanted to get my own WordPress blog up and running. So for me, I'm killing 2 birds with one stone. That kind of helps me get motivated and kind of
yeah, I think the motivation is what's in it for you, and sort of looking at what other areas is this useful for. And as you say, you know, creating your own professional portfolio online for the first time and having the opportunity to be able to do that can be, you know, quite motivating.
So don't look at my WordPress yet. I'm still wrestling. I'm still wrestling with WordPress, and it's winning.
We're going to say, do share, Paul, do share.
Yeah, of course, the problem with Paul is he's a graphics designer, and so he wants it perfect.
I was going to say, Paul.
Yes, Mr. Perfect.
Yesterday we were working with our students setting up blogs, and actually some of them went away and found different platforms. So, you know, if WordPress is not meeting your needs, yeah, some of them were using Wix, and some of them were using Blogspot. So
I think I've used all of those at some point. I've done a couple of Wix things, but WordPress is something that I want to master if I can. But it's a couple of years since I kind of set up a site for somebody else, and you know, I'm just kind of learning it all over again, and I kind of hate it. But the self-hosted WordPress as opposed to WordPress.com, which I recommend not doing a self-hosted one like I am, but I'm kind of determined.
Cool. Look forward to seeing it. And I think part of the reason why we recommend WordPress is the latest stats sort of show that over 30% of the web is actually powered by WordPress now. So if you're going to choose one, then it is a good one to choose.
Yeah, and it has powerful portfolio tools, and so part of it is me thinking, okay, I can use this for my design portfolio as well. So kind of, killing.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
If I could pull it off. So
thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry, Paul, I cut you off there.
Oh, so running through the course again is kind of a good motivation for me, just to get a bit further with that whole process and kind of confront the whole outward, more public-facing thing, which kind of scares me a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit nerve-wracking that all of a sudden you're going to have all your links and all your sort of profiles in the one place.
Yeah.
Like you, I'm sort of looking at all the examples and thinking, oh, I'd love to do this or do that. So I guess I'm going to have to sort of try and rough it out the first time and maybe perfect a little bit once the course is finished.
Yeah. I'm a big fan for people just starting, and so some of the examples that we've been throwing up on the Google Plus community is just like sitting people down and getting them to do something off the cuff, so they've got something they can build on and polish up later, but at least they've started. And I think for most people the hurdle is starting.
Yeah.
So don't sort of think that you have to have the real polished end point to start. Just get some runs on the board.
Yes,
I think for me, like last time when I started and just put things out there, I went back and looked at the things that I put there, and I thought, did I really put it out there? And I deleted some of them and not perfecting them. Yeah, it is the starting that is scary.
Yeah. So this is your opportunity to do the really good version this time.
Yeah.
And go, Paul.
I was just going to say, so you can read my first blog post, which I just shoved up there.
Yeah.
Well, read it while it's imperfect. Otherwise, I'll be tempted to go back and change it or delete it or something.
I guess my fear is putting either too much up or not enough up. So yeah. Do I do a mind dump of everything on there first, and then perhaps get someone to have a look at it and think, someone who's done that first sort of iteration of it and just critique it and say you put too much or not enough. Or so if anybody's willing to do that and help me out, that'd be great.
Can I recommend talking to Amanda, because Amanda's blog is amazing.
I think it's about sort of recognising that I think we've sort of all been dragged through this education system that gives us all these guidelines and says that there's a objective answer for what something has to look like, and it's sort of about sort of throwing some of those rules away and just saying what I post will be okay, and if it's short, it's short. If it's long, it's long, and it's just as Tom says, it's just about giving things a go and putting things up and. That we sort of probably learn more from the ones that we post that are not quite perfect than anything that's sort of a final product, really.
Yeah, that's inspiring.
Right, Amanda, I might be calling on you.
Also, I just have no shame, so I just.
I learned a few things from your blog too, Amanda, so keep it up, girl.
Tom's gone.
Maybe Tom's gone. Maybe he turns into a pumpkin at 11 o'clock.
He's gone off for his cortado.
He's actually in the same office. It looks like he's reconnected. I was going to say he's in the same office as me. I could go and tell him to reconnect. He's obviously realised that he's lost us.
Give him a wave, Lisa.
I should just go and give him a little nudge, shouldn't I? One moment, call us. I'll be back in a minute.
Can I? Oh, she's going. I was going to ask Lisa what she does.
Oh yeah, because she said she supports.
Yeah. So do you work in the same building, Amanda, as Lisa, or?
No, Lisa's in the city campus, so I sort of go between them all. But today I'm down at South, so where we were, Paul, for the symposium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're upstairs in that cool office.
I'm upstairs in that cool office, or I'm in the corridor because there's someone in there. I'm sort of just lurking, and I need to be near a PowerPoint because my phone's dying. So.
Truly mobile technology.
Yeah.
Here comes Lisa.
I'm back. Okay, so he's signed off for today. He's lost his connection, so he said, "Can you just let everybody know? Thank you very much, and we'll be in contact."
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay.
That's all right, and I'll talk to you soon. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.